Hello and welcome to IELTS Grammar. In Chapter 1, you will learn how to use a, an, the, and no article. Articles may be short words, but they can affect both the accuracy and meaning of a sentence. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to choose articles more accurately and correct common article mistakes in IELTS writing and speaking. Let's begin. Why do articles matter? Articles help readers understand exactly what a noun refers to. They can show whether we are discussing something generally or specifically, whether it is already known, or whether it is being introduced for the first time. Compare these examples. Technology can improve education refers to technology and education generally. The technology used in the school is outdated refers to a specific type of technology identified by the words used in the school. Using the wrong article may make a sentence inaccurate or change its intended meaning. There are three main choices. Use a or an with one singular countable noun when it is not yet specifically identified. For example, a university introduced a new course. Use the when the noun is specific or identifiable. For example, the course begins in September. We know which course because it has already been mentioned. Use no article with plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns when discussing them generally. For example, universities provide education. We will now examine each choice in more detail. Use a or an with a singular countable noun when the person or thing is one example and has not been specifically identified. For example, a student asked a question. We do not know which student, and the student's identity is not important. We also use a or an when something is mentioned for the first time. For example, the city introduced a recycling program. We also use a or an with jobs and classifications. For example, she is an environmental scientist, and tourism is an important industry. Remember that a and an cannot normally be used directly with plural or uncountable nouns. The choice between a and an depends on the following sound, not simply the written letter. Use a before a consonant sound. We say a university because university begins with a Y sound. We also say a European country and a useful solution. Use an before a vowel sound. We say an international student and an environmental problem. We also say an hour because the letter H is silent, so the word begins with a vowel sound. Listen to the sound rather than looking only at the first letter. Use the when the reader or listener can identify the person or thing you mean. The noun may have already been mentioned. It may be clearly defined by other information in the sentence, or it may be unique in that particular context. For example, the government introduced a policy. The policy received public support. The government refers to the government of the country or place being discussed. We use a policy when we introduce it. We then use the policy because the reader knows which policy we mean. They can be used with singular, plural, and uncountable nouns when they are specific. A common article pattern involves first and later mentions. When a singular countable noun is introduced for the first time, use a or an if it is not yet specific to the reader. A researcher conducted a study. After the researcher and the study have been introduced, use the. The study examined online learning. The researcher interviewed 200 students. This pattern helps connect ideas clearly. It is particularly useful when describing a study, process, development, or situation in IELTS writing. However, do not use the merely because a noun has appeared somewhere before. It must still refer to the same identifiable person or thing. A noun can be identified by information that follows it. For example, the students who completed the survey refers only to a particular group of students. The information in the report means the specific information contained in that report. The impact of air pollution refers to the impact connected to air pollution. The increase recorded in 2025 refers to a particular increase. The identifying information may be a relative clause, a prepositional phrase, or another expression that makes the noun specific. However, a phrase after a noun does not automatically require the meaning and context still determine the article. We also use the when something is unique or treated as unique in the relevant context. For example, the government may mean the government of the country being discussed. The education system may mean that country's education system. We also say the main problem because only one problem is being identified as the main one. We normally use the with ordinal numbers, such as the first stage, and with superlatives, such as the most significant change. Remember that uniqueness depends on context. There are many governments and education systems in the world, but a particular discussion may focus on only one. Use no article with plural countable nouns when discussing a group or category generally. Universities support academic research refers to universities in general. Cars contribute to air pollution refers to cars as a general category. Governments should protect vulnerable people expresses a general principle that applies to governments. Compare this with the universities included in the survey were publicly funded. Here, the universities refers to a specific group identified by the phrase included in the survey. Ask yourself whether you mean the whole category generally or a particular identified group. Use no article with uncountable nouns when discussing them generally. For example, education creates opportunities, technology changes communication, and pollution affects public health. These nouns represent general concepts. However, use the when an uncountable noun is made specific. Compare information is widely available with the information in this report is reliable. The first sentence refers to information generally. The second refers only to the information contained in a particular report. Article choice often depends on whether the meaning is general or specific. Education benefits society discusses education as a general concept. The education provided by the school is excellent refers to a particular kind of education. Technology is developing rapidly discusses technology generally. The technology used in the project is expensive identifies specific technology. Children need exercise refers to children in general, while the children in the study refers to a defined group. Similarly, traffic causes pollution is general, but the traffic in the city center is specific. Always consider the intended meaning before choosing an article. Several article patterns appear frequently in IELTS writing task 1. When introducing a change, we may write an increase in, a decline in, or a rise in. For example, there was an increase in sales. After the increase has been introduced, we can write, the increase continued for 3 years. We also commonly use the number of, the percentage of, and the proportion of when referring to a particular measure shown in a graph or chart. For example, the percentage of commuters traveling by train increased. These are common patterns, but the article still depends on the meaning and sentence context. most country, continent, and city names do not take an article. We say Thailand, Australia, Asia, and Bangkok. Individual mountains and lakes also usually have no article, as in Mount Everest and Lake Victoria. Use the with names that contain words such as kingdom or states, and with certain plural country names. Examples include the United Kingdom, the United States, and the Netherlands. We also use the with oceans, seas, rivers, and mountain ranges, such as the Pacific Ocean, the River Thames, and the Alps. These are naming conventions, so learners need to notice and practice the complete name. Article use can change when we discuss institutions. Children go to school means they attend school as pupils. In British English, students go to university means they attend university for education. Use the when referring to a specific place or building. For example, parents went to the school for a meeting, and researchers met at the university. Transport also has common patterns. We say by car, by bus, and by train with no article. However, we say take the bus when referring to a transport service, and catch a train when we mean one nonspecific train. Article use varies slightly across standard varieties of English, so learners should use one variety consistently. Let's examine 4 common mistakes. Government should invest in education needs the when referring to a particular country's government. The correct sentence is, the government should invest in education. A new opportunities is incorrect because it cannot be used with a plural noun. We say, technology has created new opportunities. A singular countable noun normally needs a determiner, so we say, this is a serious problem. Finally, social media is normally used without an article when discussing it generally. The correct sentence is, social media affects communication. Now it is your turn. Choose a, an, the, or no article for each sentence. Remember to check whether the noun is countable or uncountable, singular or plural, and general or specific. You should also consider whether the noun has already been mentioned and whether the following sound is a vowel or consonant sound. Pause the video and complete all 8 sentences. When you are ready, continue to the next slide to check your answers. Let's check the answers. Number 1 uses the because we mean a particular government. Number 2 uses an because important role is singular and important begins with a vowel sound. Number 3 uses no article because social media is discussed generally. Number 4 uses the because the study has already been mentioned. Number 5 uses no article because information is uncountable and general. Number 6 uses an before the vowel sound inefficient. Number 7 uses no article because evidence is uncountable. Number 8 uses the because ocean names normally take the definite article. Let's correct a paragraph. We use the use of technology because use is defined by the phrase of technology. However, technology and education represent general concepts, so they do not need articles. Digital device and student are singular countable nouns, so we write a digital device and a student. The correct expression is a large amount of information. We use the quality because it is defined by the following phrase. We use the information because it is specifically the information available online. Finally, schools and students refer to general groups, so no article is needed. Let's review. Use a or an with one nonspecific singular countable noun. Use the when the noun is specific or identifiable. It may have been mentioned before, defined by other information, or treated as unique in the context. Use no article with general plural nouns and general uncountable nouns. Before choosing an article, always check the noun's countability and intended meaning. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson.